Today I've got the great pleasure to be talking with Mel in advance of our live workshop in the PDA Portal. And Mel's, I don't know, are you a teacher, tutor, mentor?
I am co-founder and lead mentor for Gecko Community. I won't bore you with the 30 odd years of stuff that I've done previously, but that's what I do now. I work with young people who are autistic and ADHD, PDA, as a mentor, but Gecko does provide teaching and education, learning, but we teach in a very different way.
Yeah, which is what our children need.
Yeah.
We're covering in the live workshop, and we've talked quite a bit around many of the subjects, but around why Christmas can be so anxiety provoking. Do you want to explain a little bit more of what you're going to come and talk about?
Yep. Okay, so Christmas. The things that I'd like to, I'd like to talk about anything that your parents want me to talk about, and I'd be welcome to sort of questions or anything else that people have. But the things that I'll probably cover will include things like the transition for a start. So if you do still have young people in school, then, and it's not actually just Christmas, this will happen at summer holidays and half terms and everything else, the transition from any sort of learning, it doesn't have to be school actually, that lovely sort of repeat pattern to suddenly nothing. And all the routines change and everything change. It throws me losing my timetable and having to then rebuild almost another routine for the holiday periods. And I know it throws a lot of young people, but with Christmas, you've got all the added pressures of relatives turning up that you haven't seen for ages. And all of a sudden you've got these people coming to your house. So that includes greetings, goodbyes, grandmas who want to give you a slobbery kiss, and present opening. Some of us hate opening presents in front of other people, especially if they're surprise presents that you don't know what's inside. It's almost, you can feel this build of anxiety within you where suddenly you've got a mask. Because you know that even if you hate it, you've got to do the whole social etiquette stuff. And
it's lovely.
It's thank you. Yeah, so all that sort of stuff. So transitions are really hard, but also you will have those transitions of, let's say, you know, Christmas Day. You might be spending the morning at home, going to see the relatives down the road, then doing something else and doing, it's horrific. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Christmas can be really it has, I'm trying to think of the word. It's unpredictable. It's not, Christmas isn't predictable. Well, it could be, but a lot of the time it's not predictable. You don't know what to expect half the time. The atmosphere within the house, and a lot of us are very good at picking up on atmospheres. So if mum, dad, Auntie Brenda in the corner on a gin or whatever is stressed or anxious or anything, the house will you'll feel it, you know, especially young people, they'll pick up on that, which just raises anxiety even more. There's a lot actually that we could talk about Christmas. Things like social norms, the social demands around politeness, sitting around a table, you know, all this sort of stuff that certainly for a lot of PDAs that I work alongside, and actually for me too, we really struggle with, because we question everything. We're like, but why? but why do we have to do this stuff? It's just crazy. Trying to keep everyone happy, trying not to rock the boat, trying not to ruin Christmas. There's a lot of trauma around Christmas, I think, previous Christmases. I still have memories from Christmases when I was a child. And I wonder if that's why I hate Christmas so much. I don't know. But anyway, also we can talk over things like the sensory stuff that goes on. Christmas is a sensory hell for a lot of people. There's noise, lots of noise. There's crowded places. Everywhere is crowded and packed. People are rushing about. Again, we will absorb that heightened stuff, heightened atmosphere going on. Sparkly, twinkly lights of all different colours. Some of us love that. I actually do love looking from a distance, but also they have to be like nice colours, not whole random god-awful colours all over the place. Yes, so a lot of sensory issues, a lot of food issues. Again, all of a sudden, what you normally eat changes. All of a sudden, you have to do Christmas dinner and you have to have a turkey, or you have to have this, or you have to have, I don't know.
And as you said, the stress. I mean, I remember as a child, my mum getting really stressed of cooking this most immense meal, then upset because obviously it doesn't get eaten, but and then picking up on that, just that immense stress of, and that, you know, sort of what's the point, and the double, for me, the double standards of, you know, for us, 1 year, big one had pizza, little one had chicken nuggets. We haven't spoken to them yet, but you know, I'm more than happy. I've let go of that whole, we will have a roast, but it's nowhere near to how it was as I grew up. This big expectation of this big meal. And I remember my mum, my dad saying, let's think about the people not here, and my mum literally flipping the meal on this. That worked.
Yeah, that thing about especially as a child, knowing how much effort your parents have put into this, watching them flap around the place, but then you carrying the guilt because you can't eat it, or you feel like, you know, you're ungrateful, you're this, you're that, all that internal ableism stuff that we carry. Just it's all that all adds. So it's not necessarily just the surface stuff of we need our routines and we need this, and it's all the internal stuff that you absorb every single time. But yeah, absolutely, what is wrong with chicken nuggets and, I don't know, baked beans on Christmas Day? Nothing. Nothing at all. But yeah, a lot of those sensory stuff, but the demands as well that we'll put on ourselves as demand avoidant people. If, for instance, if I'm saying to myself, okay, I have to do this on Christmas Day, and I have to do this because, like, I have to go and see my parents, they're getting older. I have to go and see them on Christmas Day. Even the thought of not wanting to fills me with guilt, because it's not that I don't want to see them. It's just knowing the anxiety will keep rising and keep rising and keep rising and keep rising. So I have to be really careful, and I have to balance it, and I have to say no somewhere. And let's not forget that if you've got a neurodivergent child, you're probably neurodivergent, or your partner is.
So
one or both of you are going to be. So we've got our own processing, we've got our own masking, you know, that we're also dealing with usually with relatives who just don't get it. So yeah, so we can talk about some ideas around that. For me, obviously, none of us are the same. we all have different experiences, and so one strategy isn't going to fit all, which is why on the 9th of December,
Yeah.
whew, remember the date, on the 9th of December, if you wanted to write down pre questions, or you've got any ideas or whatever now, just chuck them through. And then, because I'm more open to, we talked about this earlier, Nicola, I'm much better at free flow conversation than having some sort of structured, scripted thing.